Remember, don't like, share, or subscribe. What are you trying to do? Blow up the channel or something? I got enough on my plate. Welcome back to Flatline. I hope you're enjoying success and health, wealth and happiness. All is great over here. So on the politics side of my channel, I discuss the psychology of politics and how it shapes and affects our culture. No different than the other side of my channel that talks about dating and relationships and the philosophies of life and personal empowerment and those things. But all of these things are integrated in many ways because our attitudes, our view of the universe, our perception of things is often shaped by news cycles, people around us, the phone that is constantly drum beating and water drop, news, beliefs, ideas, perceptions, propaganda, if you will, on a daily basis that helps us to shape our opinions of the world around us. And the only thing I care about is what is true and what is correct and what is verifiable and what serves the best purpose to help uplift the greatest amount of people. And I don't care if that's leftist ideas, right ideas, Republican, conservative, liberal, Democrat, whatever you want to term it. A good idea is a good idea. And that's what's great about Elon Musk. Ideas are ideas, and if they are brilliant and they help people and they better people's lives, then he's backing it. So he's going to talk to Jordan Peterson about how he's forming a PAC, not to necessarily back Trump or support Trump, but to back the political position and idea of the party of the right. Let's get busy.
Yeah. What are you hoping to accomplish with this, and what's the PAC called?
It's called the America PAC.
America PAC. Okay.
Yeah,
well, that's easy to remember.
It's very easy to remember,
yeah.
And it's not meant to be sort of a hyper-partisan PAC. It's actually the core principles of this America PAC are, the intent is to promote the principles that made America great in the first place. So I wouldn't say that I'm, for example, MAGA, of Make America Great Again. I think America is great. I'm more MA, Make America Greater. And there's some core pillars, core values that have, I think, made America great.
Could you elucidate those?
Yeah. So one of them is being a meritocracy. Or maybe as much of a meritocracy as possible, such that you get ahead as a function of your hard work and your skill.
I love this. This is the best. I only believe in meritocracy. The Olympics are going on right now. I didn't see a lot of DEI on the track the other day. It was all people that looked like one another, and they weren't pale. But when we're talking about winning, achieving, doing our best, it doesn't matter what the person looks like, the melanin in their skin, the shape of their eye, they're tall, they're short. It doesn't matter. You put your best people in there to achieve the greatest of things. Whether or not, I can't back this up in any way, shape, form, or fact, I stopped being contracted by a public utility that I used to hire for in the city about a year ago, if that was because I eliminated a lot of the dead wood that they were putting in front of me that I was meant to examine and position to be hired. I don't care about DEI standards. I don't care. I want the best people to do highly dangerous jobs and do them in safe ways so that the utility itself could be the best version of itself, service the most people, make sure that people don't get hurt, make sure that people get service every single day. And of course, it's great to have a diversified workforce so that the people that are working in an area look like the folks that live there. That is great. But I want the person flying the airplane that was the best person trained at flying an airplane. Not somebody that said, oh, well, this person filled in an application and he checked a box, so we're going to give him a shot, see how we do. Good luck, hope your will was all written up.
And nothing else.
Yeah.
Which is why I would be opposed to, for example, things like DEI.
Adrian Wooldridge documented the fact that the alternative to meritocracy historically is nepotism and dynasty.
Absolutely.
It's not equity.
It's not equity, correct.
It's nepotism and dynasty.
Exactly.
Right? So that's very much worth knowing. Okay. Yeah. Meritocracy has its price because it's a severe judge, but the alternative is nepotism and aristocracy or dynasty. Okay, so meritocracy.
Clearly, America, it's not like America's been purely a meritocracy, but it has been more of a meritocracy than any other place.
Which is good. That's good. That's good.
Which I regard as good.
Yeah.
Promoting meritocracy, promoting freedom to operate, meaning the least amount of government intervention possible. We want, and this is, I think, important to fight as, because the natural tendency over time, almost entropy, is that the hand of government gets heavier.
And again, you don't vote your feelings. You vote the party position, the policies. And I tend to have these discussions, and where the discussion breaks down mostly in this building is that the people cannot elucidate. That was a great word by Jordan Peterson. They can't elucidate the policy position. They can always say, I don't like Trump because I hate him. He's arrogant, he's egotistical, he's obnoxious, he's thin-skinned. You could say all that stuff. That would be fine. It would even probably in many cases be true. A lot of us that tend to vote right, we could leave a lot of that stuff alone. He could go on and talk for 2 hours. I could leave about an hour of it on the cutting room floor, quite frankly. But I tend to lean into the policy position. Smaller government, less taxation. Don't get involved in my life. Don't tell me I have to take a vaccine. Don't tell me that you're going to take my money and you're going to penalize me if I don't have health insurance. You want the government less involved in your life. You want them less tone policing you. You don't need them being the language police. Yeah, okay, in our society, there is nepotism. There are dynastic families. There are people in politics that get elevated because of their contacts. There's always going to be them. But we want more than often that people work hard, wake up early, stay at the office late, do great work bell to bell, don't make excuses, and lean in to trying to make their workplace environment and themselves better so that the entire world is better. Because we're all doing something more than likely that benefits everybody else. That is what the free market is about. You don't want socialism. You don't want communism. You don't want the government involved in what we have to do here in the free market every single day, because the product gets crappy, the service drops through the floor, the price goes through the ceiling, nobody cares. We all want to avoid that. You may not like Elon, but just try to, for a moment, entertain his ideology, philosophy, and thoughts.
Every year.
Yep.
The laws and regulations accumulate every year, and these laws and regulations are immortal.
That's the evil uncle of the king. A very old story. Very old story. The Egyptians were wrestling with that problem 4,000 years ago.
Yeah, so you have to have you have to really take an active role in reducing the number of laws and regulations. Otherwise, as more and more laws and regulations are passed, eventually everything becomes illegal. And you start getting into these Orwellian situations where
then everyone's poor and miserable.
Where action A is illegal and action B is illegal, and there isn't anything you can do that is legal. Take an example to give an example of some lawfare that was leveled against SpaceX, for example. We were told for many years that we could not hire anyone who was not a permanent resident.
They had to be that.
Well, so SpaceX develops advanced rocket technology, which is considered an advanced weapons technology because it's a core part of like intercontinental ballistic missiles.
Yeah.
So there are only a handful of things in the sort of highest level of weapon technology, and rocket technology is one of those, because we could deliver a payload and basically bomb anywhere on Earth, from anywhere on Earth. So I was told in no uncertain terms by the government that if we hired anyone who is not a permanent resident of the United States, they had to have either a green card or a citizen, that I would go to prison.
Oh, yeah.
Because the presumption if somebody's not a permanent resident is that they will leave the United States and take the rocket technology from SpaceX to potentially to countries that would cause harm to the United States. Pretty solid reasoning, I think.
And I said in my last clip, you may not like Elon. I don't know why you wouldn't like Elon. He is a mad scientist and unimpeachably brilliant. He is a true immigrant, and he's the true American dream. In one generation, his generation, he started a car company which has revolutionized EV. He started SpaceX, which is then in the free market, driving down the cost and raising the quality of trying to reach out to the moon and Mars and beyond. And then he has the boring company, where they bore, for subways and underground lines. So what he's saying has such great merit to it. You don't want government getting involved. They don't do things efficiently. They don't do things cheap. And they don't do things that are going to benefit the greatest parts of society. Look at the Postal Service. No good. Look at the MTA in New York. They were given billions of dollars and they're broke again. They just don't know how to manage money. We in the free market have to do that. So you don't want the government continuing to come in to tell you, well, now action A is illegal and action B is also illegal. And now you see, like he's even discussed, first person, the use of lawfare against his company. Okay, to try to say, well, you have to hire these people that are not citizens of America. Well, if they're not invested in the country and the ongoing proliferation of our way of life and society, well, they got nothing to lose because they're not even invested. Is this so hard to understand about immigrating to this country legally and then becoming part of the fabric of American exceptionalism and in our society? And waving the American flag, oh, I'm from Italy. Waving the American flag, oh, I originate from Ecuador. Waving the American flag, I'm from El Salvador. I am an American El Salvadorian. I am an American Ecuadorian. I am an American Italian. But I'm always home team first American. It was just one piece of Jordan Peterson's interview with Elon Musk. Let's just do a quick message takeaway here. So essentially what it says is, we're living in a very difficult time in society where you don't have people talking to one another. This is problematic, okay? And really it does, don't get triggered now, but it exists a lot on the left where you can't talk about policies, ideas, thoughts, beliefs on the right because you automatically get shunned, you get shamed, you get kind of dismissed, like these people, leftists, seem to think they have some moral high ground or authority or elitist viewpoints. But if you really look at things, people that argue from the left, they never can argue against policy prescription or what is best for people overall. It's all about feelings. It's all rooted in feelings, and it's all rooted about making everybody happy and rooted in these utopian thoughts where there's no borders and there's peace throughout the world and everybody is happy and everybody does well. This is a utopian, Atlantis, fictitious, fantasy island way to view the world. But it's only done by people that are people on the left, that are people of privilege in society, that have money, that are from Hollywood, that are big corporate lobbyists and conglomerates, and the people that are nepotistic and dynastic. Those people seem to do a lot of talking, as opposed to people on our side of the aisle. Most of us that came pulling up our bootstraps through meritocracy, hard work, effort, energy, suffering, sacrifice, waking up early, staying late, doing great work bell to bell, continuing to push forward despite all the disadvantages that we didn't have the right parents, we didn't have the right school, we didn't have the right degree, we didn't look a certain way. We weren't as smart as everybody else. You had to work hard to really dig into your own personal belief that you could overcome all of these obstacles in society. You didn't have a leg up because you didn't check off a certain box. Right? So if we could all combine these ideas, the best of the right, the ideology and the utopian philosophy of the left, then we could say, hey, listen, we could build a great society where we can keep all the bullies out, we can keep all those people that are trying to suppress and oppress people in society across the world at bay, and we could do well in the process. Well, great, let's work to do that. But you have to communicate and pragmatically decide upon the best ideas to move this ball down the field so that at the end of the day, when the buzzer sounds, you win. You win.